everybody, here I am ready to do our double page layout, 6:30 Thursday night. So I just looked at the time and I was like, quick, run to your live. This will be the first time I've done a live in time, how do you word it, page along with you all. If people are going to work alongside me, we can keep doing it. But if people would prefer that I do the live and then they catch up so they can pause it, let me know, because there's a lot of steps I could do to make this a lot quicker, so you don't have to watch as long, but you could pause. So hopefully people have their kits together ready for our layouts. So I'm going to start with page number 1 of the Dodo layout. Turning the camera around. Okay. Now I'm going to have some shadowing. I'm going to apologise for that. Mum, do you have a lamp by any chance? Possibly not easy access. That's okay. We're just going to have a bit of shadowing. It's all a learning curve. So here we are making this Dodo layout. So in order to make this layout, you will need to have your 12 by 12 piece of paper. So if you get one of those out, and we are going to cut the advertising strip off the bottom. So just use your trimmer. Hello, Deb. Hello, Jan. Hello, Lillian. Just use your trimmer. Okay. And we don't use that. Oh, actually, that's got some great words on the back of it. So if you did want to keep that to use later, you could keep it. And then we have this part of our layout. We want this section here. So, see that there? That is this section. So what we're going to do is we are going to trim approximately, let's see, that is approximately, I think it's 4 inches. Yes, it is. So we're going to come along here and trim down at around 4 inches. Doesn't matter if it's a tiny bit over. In fact, I will go a tiny little bit over. So say 4 1/4 inches. Okay, I hope nobody heard that. Dad's sort of hurt himself in the background and had some colourful language. Now, see how it's going to chop off the butterfly? Nope, I don't want to chop off my butterfly. So let's go. Let's go 4 3/4 inches. There we are. So we're going to trim this bit at 4 3/4 inches, like so. And we have that bit. This little bit here, we're going to sit aside for just a moment. So sit that one aside. So this is where I said to people, if you have a spare scrap of paper, spare 12 by 12. So this is our spare 12 by 12 piece of paper. Because we're going to put our page together in pieces, this is going to stick over there. And from your 6 by 8 pieces, for anybody who watched the video showing how to repair, I got these out earlier. So there was the one that had the 2 4 by 6s. We're going to use that side of it. And your one that has the 4 3 by 4s, we're going to use that side of it. So what we're going to do is normally I would use a tape runner and do this really quickly. But because we're doing this live, let me show you. We're going to stick one down there. We're going to stick one up there. And this one is going to stick there. And that is how we create the background for our Dodo page. So normally I would have a tape runner and I'd go stick, and this would be done really quickly. But because I'm doing this live and I know what it's like to get behind, I've decided I'm going to use sticky tape and do it the slow way. So those of you working at home can keep up with me. The wonderful Janine from 49 and Market, when she did this page, whoa, I got so far behind. So I watched the page as she made it, and then I went back later and watched the video and just paused each step as I completed it. So if you do find I'm moving too quickly for you, you can pause the step. Hello, Sandy. Hello, Gail. Hello, Kelly. There's a new lawn fawn stamp coming out, Kelly. We're not allowed to show you, but I can tell you about it. It's called Apparently It's Your Birthday, and everyone who knows I love parrots. It's got a parrot on the stamp. I love the lawn fawn puns. Okay then, so this one here, I'm just putting some double-sided tape. So handy hint, if you're ever in a workshop live and you need to keep up, tape runner is so fast. So fast. But double-sided tape just is more economical as well. So there we are. And now we have our background. And now I can hear people saying, but you can see that line over there. Guess what we are going to do? The next two pieces of paper you're going to need is one of the ones with leaves all over it. On the back of it, if you look, it's got the two sideways watercolour leaves. So we're going to have that. Now, this is purely optional. I love to ink everything. So I grabbed myself an old pine cone ink pad and I ink the edges. If you would like to, you could use a little file and rough the edges up, but it's up to you. Now, if you have a look, there's words on here. Make sure you have the words up the right way or it's going to really annoy you. So that there, we are going to stick down. However, we are going to be tucking things under all over the place. So anytime you do a 49 and Market page, put your adhesive in the middle. That way, when you start to tuck things, they don't run into the adhesive. Hello, Taja. Hello, Cheryl. And Cheryl. We've got a few Cheryls watching. Hello, Lynn. So there we are. I'm just making sure my writing is up the right way. And, of course, I had it up the wrong way, so it's lucky I double-checked. We are just going to stick that centrally, beautifully. And now, for anyone going, but I can still see that line, this is where we get fun. Out of our collectibles, you're going to pull out the little scalloped circle. So again, if you're a mad keen inker like I am, you can pick up your ink and, oh, Mum, Joe's here. Could you just go tell him I'm doing a live? Sorry, we've just had a friend pulling up. We're starting a card game soon. We play 500 on Thursday nights. And he usually walks in saying very loud hellos. So what we're going to do is turn our little scalloped circle over and we're going to tuck it under. Now, if you wanted to use the other half of the scalloped circle, you could cut it down. But for me, you just tuck it under there and look at that. You would never know there was a join there. How easy is that? So next step, out of your collectibles, we took this really pretty piece with all the little flower names all over it. And we're again just going to ink. Inking is purely optional. Hello, Joe. Purely optional. You don't have to ink if you don't want to, but I love inking. And if you like things to be shabby chic, you could attack all the edges, as I mentioned. That is now going to stick down there. So, again, we're going to be doing a lot of tucking underneath edges. So, use your tape towards the middle. Hello, Janine. How are you? So, for anybody just joining us, we're making a double page layout. This kit's available on our website. Under, if you do a search for Dodo, I called it the Dodo page because I put my birdie on it called Dodo. Or if you've got similar papers and want to follow along and just substitute some in, just as long as it gets us all crafting. That's what it's all about. So now the next step, we're going to put a photo mat in the middle. So you will have a 6x8 piece like so. On the back of it is the floral pieces. It's a landscape one. So what we're going to do is it's 6x8, so we're going to cut it directly in half so we have a 4x6 mat. Who remembers the original? I'm up at Mum's for this because she has much better internet. Who remembers the original Caterpie, this lovely bright green one? I think it was the very first Caterpie that ever came out.
It's mine.
Yeah, Mum is still using it, loves her Caterpie. She's probably the only person I know that hasn't broken the arm off the side of it. I've broken the arm off the side of all of mine. So all we're doing now, ink the edges of your green mat. Probably, I don't recommend inking them over the top of your page because as you can see, little bits fall down. But then again, it just adds to the look of it. So we're now going to mat that on there. And I've prepared a photo map earlier. For those of you at home, nope, that one's the same size. Maybe I didn't. Oh, that's right. I cut it to 4x6 and my background's 4x6. So if you're going to have a photo, you're going to have to chop your photo down. The 4x6 photo will have to be chopped down a little bit. That makes sense. Out of brain moment. And if you're watching, Deb, it's lovely and cool down here in Tassie. My poor friend over on the mainland is suffering from the heat. Anybody on the mainland watching, it's lovely and cool here in Tassie. And so there we are. So we've trimmed that down. So that would be your photo. So I'm just going to stick that on there just so it's... Hopefully people are catching up. Is anybody doing it live with us? I don't know if anyone is or not. I know if you're anything like me, when I'm doing a live class, I'm too busy working to try and type anything. But hopefully we get some feedback in the comments later from people if they are doing it live with us. So we're going to stick that one in the middle there. And again, did you note I only put tape in the middle because pretty soon we are going to tuck things under. There we are. Oh, I'd love a cold drink, Mum. Okay, so our next step, I did say to people when we did our prep of what you need to keep, that you'll need to keep a hold of the cover piece. So this was the cover piece from your paper pack. What we're going to do is we're going to cut these flowers out over here. So when I find my scissors, there they are. And you can do this as neat or as rough as you would like. I'm going to cut mine out fairly roughly because I kind of look like the shabby chic look. If you want to cut it out really neatly, you can slow down for this step. You could do this step a little bit later if you wanted to. And then I'm going to go down there and around my butterfly. And look at that. He's all cut out and ready. So now we are going to ink that up. Just to neaten our edges. I ink everything. You absolutely don't have to ink if you hate inking. But yeah, I like to ink everything. So this is now going to tuck under there. Yeah, about there is going to be fantastic. Where you stick it is up to you because depending on what photos you use, you may have a landscape photo, you may have two smaller 4x6 photos. You may have two 4x6 photos. That's the beauty of being able to work at your own pace at home. And let's pop them in there. And now we want another flower behind there. So for everybody who sat this piece aside, we're going to cut that flower out there. Where is my scissors? I set them up there. So again, you can cut as neatly or as roughly as you like. I cut out very roughly because to me it's just a background accent. Hello, Shannon. Oh, I'm using pine cone. There are so many shades of brown out there from so many companies, and I can honestly say pine cone is the only brown that I have never failed with it. It's just that shade of brown that goes with everything. I don't know why. Like a lot of people will use a lot of the Tim Holtz ones, but honestly, depending on your project... Whoops, hang on, my phone just... sorry if that messed up. My phone just threw a wobbly at me for a second there. Depending on your project, you have to change the shades of what Tim Holtz one you choose, whereas pine cone just goes with everything. Thank you, Mum. So there you go. It's just the right shade of brown. So all we're going to do is put some double-sided tape on the back of that one now. Hello, Beth. How are you? Hello, Christine. Oh, got a few different Christines watching. So all we're going to do now is tuck that underneath both the layers there. So it can go up or down wherever you would like it. So I want it to go about there. So it's kind of like a reflection, one that gets bigger and bigger. And now we go to our pack of laser cuts. I find with my laser cut, I like to push them forward because they're held in place with tiny little tabs. And if you're pushing them backwards and a tab tears, you'll see some white on the front of your die cut. So whenever I'm getting my die cuts out, Now, this was one of my questions, is if people are going to work along with me live, I will get these out at the same time as you. But if people are going to prefer watching and then making it later so they can pause, I would have things like this already punched out. So anybody that's watching doesn't have to sit there twiddling their thumbs while I mean, it is a bit boring watching somebody poke out a die cut. There we are. Now, if you wanted to be a little bit careful, you could ink the edges of that, but I won't for this process. So this is the fun bit. How do we stick these down? You can pop them upside down, and this glue here from Couture Creations, it comes with this really fine, yes, I have always loved pine cone, Kelly. Comes with this really fine nib on the top with just a pin, and it lets out, watch this, the tiniest little dots of, okay, when I start to squeeze it, tiniest little dots of glue. And it's a really tacky glue as well that holds really well. So if we just touch tiny dots of glue around all over the back of our die cut, if I were making this in my own time, I'd probably put 5 billion tiny little dots of glue on it. But for the sake of what we're doing now, that'll be enough glue. So we are going to glue this onto our page. Let me see. It's just going to pop out from underneath this flower here. There we are. Beautiful. Now, whoops, it slipped a little bit. That's okay. Just pop it back in place. The beautiful part is the glue dries clear. I'm just going to grab a quick sip of my drink. Won't be a moment. Oh, that's yummy. I don't know what flavour that is, but that's yummy. So there we have a lovely little embellishment up there. Now, you see these two lines? You can look at those and go, well, they're annoying. I don't want them there. What we can do is go to our die cuts, and we have this little piece here. So if you poke that out, now the funny part is I have been using these laser cuts for something else. You'll have two of these. You'll be able to put one at the top and one at the bottom. Silly me went and used mine on another project because I was just using my leftover die cuts. So I've only got one for this bit. So for those of you working at home, you'll have two full brand new ones. So you'll have plenty of space. So that will go up there, and look at that. Pretty much hide our line up there. So at home, as I said, you won't need to be cutting this out. You can use the whole one. I have to cut mine in half because the other half I used on another project. And that one goes down there and hides the line down there like so. And then what else are we going to use? Oh, now the fun bit, rub-ons. I love rub-ons because you look at this and you go, that's a pretty page, but we can make it prettier. In your rub-ons, you'll have these ones that are like splats. This bright yellow one here is just gorgeous. When it comes to rub-ons, you've got two ways of doing it. You can peel the pages apart, you can lean them down on your project, and you can rub them on. But if you're anything like me, I usually lean on the rub-on by mistake and will stick half the other rub-ons on the page. So I cut out what I'm using. So we're going to put this one, oops, you want to keep this half, not the other half. And we're going to put a bit of a splattery rub-on down there. These rub-ons are so brilliant, you could probably rub them on just with your finger and have them work, but they do come with a little plastic rub-on tool. So we're going to rub it on like so and peel it away, and look at that. We have a lovely splatter. And see this, I've got a little bit left over, so I'm going to move it over there a little bit, put a bit more splatter down. And then I'm going to look at it and go, yep, I'm on a roll now, I need more splatter. So I'm going to use these really dirty brown looking ones here. Depending on your photo, say you've got more pink in your photo, you may want to choose some of these pinky ones instead. So this little bit here can be altered depending on the individual on your project. That's why sometimes it pays to have your photo ready when you start the page. Hello, Helen Franklin, how are you? So we're going to stick, that's going to get hidden, so you know what? I'm going to chop this in half. The beauty of them being splattery, it doesn't matter how messy you make them because they're messy to begin with. So, oh, upside down. I want my writing up the right way. That would annoy me if I put my writing up the wrong way. I've done that before and it annoys me every time I look at a page. It's the only thing I see. And so again, you're just going to rub those little rub-ons like so. And ta-da! We have a lovely bit of mess there. And I'm going to put a little bit more up here. Make sure your writing's up the right way or it'll be really annoying. And just rub them up there. Like so. There we are. And I want a butterfly over here because I can. Where's my butterfly rub-ons? Here we are. So this time I am going to be a little bit lazy. I'm just going to peel the sheet back rather than cut it out. And I'm going to rub on a butterfly up there. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. Am I going to mess up because this is live? No, I didn't. There we are. We have a butterfly up there. And there's wording that you can choose in all of your rub-ons. This is the bit where, yeah, you can come back depending on, see on my original page, I popped Nature's Beauty down there because she's my birdie. I popped another butterfly rub-on up there. So as you can see, we have pretty much finished the page. The next step in your laser cuts, you will have a little ropey, I don't know how do you describe that, little ropey bit. Let me see where it is. Here we are. So it was in there and I popped it out. It is very delicate. If you tear it, don't worry because it's so delicate you can tear it down. Now, because I don't have my photo ready, I won't be able to stick it down. So if you're working at home, you can hit pause right now. You can pop your photo down. You can stick the little bit of ropey stuff across your photo just using some glue. And then to finish it off, all you're going to do is tie a little bit of the ribbon, which will be in your kit as well, and pop it on your photo. So that is one page done. Let's jump on our next page. So this is a double page layout. This next page is messy. That's why I like it. So if you have a look there, this is the next page we're working on. So once more, you'll take your other piece of paper and we're going to cut the advertising strip off the bottom. So hopefully people at home are keeping up with me. Obviously, you'll have to go back and finish at home adding your photo because I haven't allowed the time for that because I've jumped on to the next page. Here we are. So there's our page. Now this is where I was amazed with this next idea. Janine from 49 and Market came up with this next idea. If you have a look, you can see we've got a background here and then we've got some backing in green. What she did, it's very clever, she got a scalpel out. We are going to cut around the flower, up, along, down, and along, just with a scalpel. If you're nervous about using a scalpel, you can do it freehand. Otherwise, I liked the look of it being done. Sorry, if you're nervous about using a scalpel, you could do it with a ruler. I liked the look of it being done freehand. So all you're going to do is you're going to cut straight down there and you're going to cut around the flower, like so. And then from the edge of the butterfly, you're going to come down and we're going to come along here like so. We are going to come along here like so. I'm just doing it freehand because at the end, this really uneven edge looks really cool. When you see what I'm going to do in a moment, you're like, ah, that's ingenious. So there we are. We have a cutout. Now, if you wanted to, you can get your pine cone. How often would you do these, please? I miss card making class. This looks like fun. Hi, Shannon. We want to do these a lot more regularly for exactly the reason you have just said. We miss everyone as well, but running live classes at the moment is just, oh, it's just just not a feasible thing. I have some fantastic card making classes that I've just finished off today, where all you need is some scrunched up tissue paper and embossing powder, and it's a fantastic technique. And I want to do that class live tomorrow. What I'm hoping to do is do them live, and we're uploading them as well after the class finishes off to our YouTube page, because there's a lot of people that Facebook, when it finishes a video, decides to lose it for you. I don't know how many other people experience that, but if we've got them on a YouTube page, you can go to the YouTube and they're always there for you. So now look what we are about to do. We are about to, we'll need to, just to make that flower stand out a little bit, trim like so. We are going to put our page in under. Now there's no hard and fast set measurement for this. We are going to, now if you have a look, I want a little bit more green there, so I just need to trim a tiny bit more with my butterfly. Please people, keep fingers safe. I don't want to hear anybody cut themselves because they weren't paying attention to their scalpels. Scalpels are sharp. Excellent, Shannon, excellent. So there we are. So now I just need to cut my green along the bottom there. I didn't bring a pen to mark it, so I'm going to... Oh, I see a pen. Hang on. Oh, did I bump everybody? Who remembers when we had a Konica lab? We still have Konica pens left. I want to trim a smidgen off there, and I want to trim along the bottom, about there. So I'm going to get my scalpel out. As you can see, I can't give a measurement for this because everybody's cutting freehand. You might cut a 1/2 centimetre bigger or a 1/2 centimetre smaller than me. And if I give you a measurement to trim, it's just not going to fit. So I like eyeballing because I hate measuring. So there's my technical term for what we've just done. Oh, and now ink the edges, ink the edges. And Mum and I also did this class that's so easy where we just mask off a circle and ink it and put some embossing powder over it. I want to show everybody that because I like these short, quick, fun cards because that gets us all out and moving and doing things, because I love the intricate ones, but sometimes if it takes 3 hours to make a card, and look at that, isn't that just a great background? So we've got short, quick, fun. This is the first time I've ever done one live, but if it's popular, we can do more. So all I'm doing again is I'm just putting some tape in the middle. Hello, Jess, how are you? To hold it in place. And then I'm going to flick it over and put some more tape across there. Probably regular sticky tape would be a better way of doing it, but doesn't hurt to do it with a bit of double-sided tape because I didn't think ahead to grab some regular sticky tape. There we are. And now we're going to have a really fun cheat technique as well. We're going to take our red and we're going to ink the edges of it a little bit. Now in our pack there was a shiny red and then there was a flat red. I've chosen the flatter red. If you like the shiny red, you could absolutely do that. Now what we want to do is we want to mat these leaves on there. So it just means we need to take about a 1/2 centimetre off 2 sides. Mum's cooking some dinner over there. It's starting to smell delicious. I may have to organise our classes a little bit later in future because I'd forgotten that a lot of people eat at 6:30. But that's okay. As I said, you can always watch back later and pause it. Hello, Helen. Hello, Catherine. So we are going to now ink the edges of our autumn paper. Okay, there we are. And this is a really fun technique, what we're about to do. We're about to make it look like we have a huge piece of paper when all we have is a 6x8 piece of paper. And turn that down a tiny bit, please. Thank you. Sorry, they just turned on the TV and it was a little bit loud. I'm never sure how much the speaker picks up. There we are. So we're going to stick this down on our background piece of paper. There we are. Now, how do we make this look massive? You can do this with the trimmer or you can do it with your scissors. What we're going to do, we're going to cut it in half. Okay, I should have brought bigger scissors along, but anyway. We're just going to cut it in half and then watch this. We're going to tuck half of it up there. There we are. And we're going to tuck half of it down here. Don't worry about that little bit there. We're going to cover it over with a embellishment in a minute. So you can have them straight or you can have them at an angle. This is personal choice. Bit of tape there and it's stuck down. With glue as well, if you prefer glue, depending on what medium you prefer to stick with. I usually stick my fingers together with glue so I avoid it. There we are. So that's stuck down there. And now we'll have the other half of the green that we worked with earlier. If we trim that in half, look at that, we have 2 3x4 backgrounds. How quick and easy was that? So we quickly ink them up. See the difference that pine cone makes? It's so discreet, so I'll hold them next to each other. See just the tiny difference that little bit of edging makes. It really does bring out. Hello, Tammy, how are you? Hello, Deborah. She's making a really nice dish. It smells amazing, Deborah. So then again, bit of double-sided tape on there. We're going to be tucking things under. So double-sided tape in the middle so that we can tuck things under. So we are going to pop. If you wanted a single 4x6 on this, you absolutely could. So this is where we're going to pick up our little bit there and we're going to, where do we want it? There you go. I want one up there and I want it overlapping, so I want it there. There we are. It's entirely up to everybody. Oh, no, I've decided I want it a bit higher because I want to see that bit of green at the bottom. There we are. It's entirely up to everybody where they put it. So there we are. And so now we're going to hide this over. Who remembers our cover piece? We have this flower over here. So it's up to you how neatly or how messily you cut it out. I'm going to cut this really quickly. Bit of record speed cutting here. Sound effects are optional while you're working at home, but I find sound effects keep me company. Hello, Karen, how are you? There we are, and we have, so for anybody who's joined us recently, this is a kit. I called it the Dodo kit. We have a book to go yet. We will be doing a book on this in the next few days, and the book and the 2 double-sided pages all come in the kit together. And we will be uploading this to YouTube so you can come back and find it on Facebook. But Facebook sometimes decide it wants to hide videos. I don't know why. It's just I guess because they get so many billion uploaded every hour. So we're going to tuck that little flower under there. There you go. I like it sitting like so. And now we just embellish. So we're going to pop a lovely flower in there. If we go through our laser cuts, let me see, where are my laser cuts? Oh, there's one. I like that flower there. So we're just going to pop him out. As I mentioned earlier, I always pull forward from the back, and that way if it does slip, the white tends not to... Oh, now I did I trim these the right size earlier? Yes, I did. So these are where my photos are going to go. So I'll pop them on there just to represent my photos. See, if I'd had a tape runner, I could be doing this a lot quicker. There we are. There we are. There we are. Just ignore Mum and Dad having a domestic in the background. I don't know if anybody can hear them, but they're arguing over a soap dispenser. Typical parents. There we are, like so. And let's pop an embellishment underneath it. This one here that we've got. So our glue we just put lots of little dots of glue on there. Ah, and because I didn't put the needle back in, it's decided to dry out. Oh, the glue's coming out now. I do recommend you put your needle back in between uses, and that just stops it from drying out. Because the tip is so fine, it can dry very quickly. There we are. So we're going to pop, there you go, little flower like that. How cool does that look? And a little word underneath. I like the word Hello Pumpkin because I just call him cute little names. Being a bird, as you do. If you put a little human photo on there, we often call little humans Pumpkin as well. So, bit of glue along there like so. There we are. We're going to stick the little pumpkin down there. Now, I want to stick something to hide that because I don't like the edge of that being visible. If I'd bought some 3D foam, I might put it on with 3D foam, but I didn't think to bring any. So I'm just putting it down with some glue. So we just put the word thankful down there. And that is pretty much finished, except for, you guessed it, let's go crazy with rub-ons. This rub-on here, where's my scissors? We're going to really quickly rough cut this rub-on out. There we are. And we'll peel this apart and it's going to go over the wording and everything. I'm going to tuck it under there slightly. And there we are. And Yes, we certainly have kits available. If you go to our website and type in Dodo, D-O-D-O, that's funny, we've just had a phone call to ask if we've got kits available. So if you go to our website and type in D-O-D-O, you'll be able to get the full kit. Otherwise, if you already own some of these items, because they've been selling, as you can see, I just lost my rub-on tool, so I'm using my scissors. We've got the items individually as well, because you may already own the 6x8 pack and everything and just need to order some papers and things. So there we are. Ta-da! So we've got the rub-on down there. Oh, thank you for that, Deb. That's very good of you. Deb's put the link down there for us. And then it's just a matter of looking at your page and going, of course I need a butterfly up there. What would be an outdoorsy page without a butterfly? And because I don't trust my luck twice of not messing up, I'm going to cut a little butterfly out. By the time I've finished this, I'll probably cut out 20 butterflies and put them all over it. And but you get hundreds and hundreds of butterflies on your sheet. Now, as I said, these rub-ons are such good quality, you can rub them on with your finger if you've lost your rub-on tool. If you can see the mess I've made around this page. Everybody thinks I'm never nervous in lives, but I can promise you I'm nervous every live. There we are. So we have our page. See, on my original one here, I've put another rub-on down there just called Fall in Love. And then if you wanted to, I think a few more splats would look fantastic up there. And then you just add your photos. Ta-da! So we've done a double page layout in how long? Just over half an hour.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. So hopefully people were able to follow along. Otherwise, in a few minutes, I will upload this to YouTube. Our YouTube, if you do a search for Image Plus Scrapbook Superstore, you'll find our YouTube page, because I haven't got the link on me to publish. There are two pages. One of them, I'm not technological, and I started a YouTube page and didn't know what I was doing, and so went out of it, and then I went back into it and couldn't finish it anymore, so I started a new one. The new one's the one with lots of links in it. The old one's one with one link in it, and I need to work out how to get rid of it. Hopefully you all enjoyed that, and in the next couple of days we will do the Dodo book, which is an 8x10 book with lots of pages. Talk to you all soon. Bye.